Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Susglobal Energy's channel, a leader in the circular economy, turning waste into basically precious energy. Joining us today is the Chief Executive Officer, Mark Hazout. Welcome back, sir.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
And always a pleasure to have you back, man. Geez, you guys have so much news going on. I can't wait to dive down into this. But first and foremost, you guys recently signed an agreement to acquire a leading soil media producer. First, can you kind of tell us what this company does and kind of the synergies related with Susglobal Energy?
Sure. So first of all, it's important to note that we have 3 acquisitions this year. This is the first one that we announced. The other 2 will be announced once we uplist on the NASDAQ. They're effective. They're subject to an effective registration statement. So this company, for example, we focused on this company first because they've got significant brand strength, significant marketing, a lot of science and research and development behind them, a lot of IP, and of course they're going to become a huge distribution network and partner for us in the retail market. They're in 182 Home Depot stores now. So really for us and for them, the synergy with Susglobal is that we're a manufacturing partner. We have the infrastructure to scale up rapidly, and of course we've got a large volume of supply. And the whole supply chain issue right now, there's a challenge certainly with what's happening globally. Fertilizer prices are at their all-time high. With what's happening overseas, you've got 2 of the biggest potash producers out there after the first, which is Nutrien here in Canada. So fertilizer prices are going up. That's the narrative. And Susglobal is we're on track to be able to capitalize on that because we've got significant amount of feedstock to make as much fertilizer as demand. As long as the demand is there for our products, and some of the acquisitions that we work with have their own distribution networks, and that's where we're going to get all this product out to.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible because I feel like you guys might be underlooked as kind of that part of a player when you're speaking about things like Nutrien and just kind of, obviously like the Russian exports have a much bigger impact on the global economy than I think most people would have anticipated. But leading into that acquisition, can you just briefly talk about the cost structure behind it and when you guys plan on having that deal closed?
Sure. So we did disclose the terms of the acquisition. There's a cash component, but that's a condition of the acquisition, is that we're making a $5 million investment. We did advance $200,000 for legal costs and so forth. We're now preparing definitive documents. It will close in the second quarter. It's subject to an effective registration statement. Give us a lot of confidence. This company has been around for several years, and again, 182 Home Depot stores and Lowe's stores in the U.S., and we're looking at expanding in the U.S. So again, for us, from an accretive perspective, at least $10 million in revenue this year. In terms of consolidating it, it'll become a wholly owned subsidiary of ours. Give us a lot of confidence that the $5 million investment stays in the company. So ultimately, it's consolidated and it's still our, those funds are still ours, so to speak. And then, of course, they receive shares in the NASDAQ listed company. So that's how that transaction is. Those are the terms of that transaction. But there are about 23 employees and a very recognized brand. So there's a huge upside for us being able to distribute. We've already packaged our compost with them and our liquid fertilizer with them. You're going to be using something very unique, and it's a Tetra Pak rather than a plastic bottle that we're using now. So this is really the future of branding these type of organic products. This is what the market is asking for.
Yeah, I really feel like just looking at your business, the diversification that you've been building out, I almost feel like it's starting to really play into it well when you're partnering with municipalities, just the contracts that you guys have managed to collaborate on, and now kind of obviously bleeding more into the soil side of it as well. Based on like the current energy prices, because you guys are obviously making diesels and things of that nature out of the ways, do you find that there's any price affliction based on the current market, like demand for those products based on these geopolitical problems?
Well, first of all, it's important to note that as you're aware, we were chosen as one of 39 global leaders in the circular economy, and we have a really a brilliant circular economy model. We take, organic municipal waste and convert that into regenerative products. And of course, we're diverting those wastes from landfill as part of the whole climate change initiative and reducing the greenhouse gas emissions. But perfect model. We've got the feedstock. We're paid to take the feedstock. That's our first revenue stream, is the tipping fee that we receive from the municipalities, and it's a significant amount of volumes. Both our existing facilities, total it's 185,000 metric tons per annum. And when you think that a large city of perhaps 3 million population will generate about 250,000 tons per annum, so it's a significant amount of feedstock, and we can generate enough compost and liquid fertilizer based on those amounts. It's exponentially. So we are not affected by supply chain because we have the feedstock. We can produce a significant amount of compost and liquid fertilizer. As long as there's a home for it, and a demand for it, we can produce it. And these are, superior products. They're organic, pathogen-free in some cases, and that's what the market is looking for. Let's not forget that the fertilizer market is a $200 billion per annum market, and now there's a subset to that, and that's the organic fertilizer market. That's $20 billion per annum, growing at a CAGR of 11.7% to much higher in the next several years.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. And just to put a cherry on top of that cake, I mean, you guys are looking to uplist to the NASDAQ soon too, or correct?
That's correct. So update on that is, we filed the S1 registration statement on January 13th. Shortly after, on January 27th, we received 2 light comments from the Securities and Exchange Commission. And now, of course, we had to file our 10K, which is our December 31st year end. It's due on March 31st. Once that's filed, we will insert that into an amended S1 registration statement and hopefully go effective as soon as possible. Once we go effective, our underwriters will proceed with the underwriting and hopefully uplist in the next 30 to 60 days.
Well,
Very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah, I really appreciate these updates, Mark, and I'm sure many of the listeners are probably pretty happy if they're shareholders as well. You guys are really pushing forward in these kind of uncomfortable times, but thanks so much for coming out.
Always a pleasure.
And on that note, folks, I want to pass the question off to you. Let us know what you think in that comment section below. Consider subscribing because as news comes down the wire, we'll continue to update you here, but stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I look forward to catching you in the next one.